wig on the dance floor. She had 2-3 drinks, now she twerking. She throw it out and come back in. That's my best friend. She a real bad bitch, drive her own car. She don't need no lift in a strip club. No, my girl gon' tip. Now she twerking, she throw it out and come back in. Best friend, you the baddest and you know it. Uh-oh, girl, I think our booty growing. Fuck it up in the mirror, hit them poses. Best friends and you motherfucking glowing. Best friends and your wrist is like it's frozen. Uh-oh, girl, I think our booty growing. Fuck it up in the mirror, hit them poses. Best friend, you my motherfucking soulmate.
Alright, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of
Selina and Crystal Have Friends. I'm Selina Ringel.
I'm Crystal Shaynak.
I'm Roscoe Mozena Brandon.
And this is our very first guest. And he has some really important things to say to everyone.
Tell us, darling, tell us, please. What do you do the first thing you wake up in the morning?
What do you do? What's your morning routine like?
Definitely diarrhea.
Just kidding. He doesn't talk yet.
Shit, shower, and shave. Gym, tan, laundry.
Oh, and he's going to eat the mic. Anyway, this is my new 10-month-old
really
baby
guest.
and my best friend. We'll talk about that later. And this is my husband. Dan, you want to say hi to everyone?
Also, the director of the show, Selina and Crystal Have Friends. We do indeed have friends.
We do.
Our very first episode, we're gonna kind of just get into.
Yeah.
Good night, we're gonna talk about the show, how it came about, what we'll kind of be discussing, the kind of interviews we'll be conducting.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of guests we'll have on the show.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The kind of drinks we'll have on the
You know.
show.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes. The drinking happens. So first talking about the drinks, because not to say that it's all fueled by alcohol, but we actually happen to have
It's true.
our Roscoe over
This is
here.
brought to you by alcohol tonight.
Yes.
Our Roscoe, he is a multi-hyphenate, but also a mixologist.
It's your favorite word.
It's my name. A multi-hyphenate.
She will be saying multi-hyphenate every episode.
That's true.
And we're all multi-hyphenate.
Absolutely out of context.
We also all are multi-hyphenates, but yes, it's true.
We happen to be multi.
Yeah, we live in LA. Yeah, we're all
And
multi-hyphenate.
mostly in the industry, the film industry. We are
Yes.
in LA right now.
Yes.
So
So
yeah.
For those of you tuning in from the Norwegian countries,
You're
we're in LA right now.
So jutsu. No, that was
So-
another episode.
So let's start actually, because I actually think it's really important before we get into having a bunch of guests on our podcast. I think it's important for people to know a little bit about us. So
Yes.
let's start
We are
with
cool.
Brandon.
We're really important.
Yes,
So
we
we should
are.
absolutely talk about ourselves.
Yes,
And just also like a background, just we are all best friends.
Fully vaccinated as well.
Also fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated.
Selena and I have been bestie best friends for ages and ages, so long.
More than 15 years.
Yeah. So, you know, there's
But we're younger than you think.
so you know, it's like we have fun here. Lots of laughing, lots of laugh attacks, and also lots of great information and great guests. Okay, and then let's proceed. Okay.
What?
Okay, so now, sorry, Roscoe, tell us everything.
So we want to know
What do you
about
wanna know?
you.
What's up?
So, well, first of all, obviously, you're incredibly talented and you do a lot of things.
Multi-hyphenate,
So tell us,
multi-hyphenate.
multi-hyphenate.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you. And
I'm an actor. And I work mostly commercially. I do
Oh yeah.
also work theatrically. I like skit comedy. I work a ton like online. I started doing BuzzFeed back in the day when that was hot.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Still hot.
And still, yeah, when it was like really hot. Now it's still hot.
I
but
just
when
saw
it was
you on a
like,
commercial.
Yeah,
I
really
work-
big
yeah,
one.
I work-
Pepsi?
Yeah, Pepsi. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, so I work
That's
a lot.
the dream.
I work a lot commercially. And that's kind of just the niche I fell into. I met my agent handing out coffee on the side of the street
Nice.
in 2012. I've been with the same agent.
Wow.
Oh,
Sense.
loyalty. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
loyalty,
Good
rare,
for you.
yeah.
Where are you loyalty? Where does that
But I
exist?
also work in bars and I've kind of worked my way up in both industries over the last. I moved to LA in 2012.
Where from?
I'm from Seattle originally.
Okay, cool.
Born and raised in the city.
Nice.
And I don't like rain that much. And so I moved down. It's like, I was
So
like,
rainy, but
it's
so
time
green.
to-
It's
so
like
green,
lime
so green.
green
Oh,
there.
I
My God, I went hiking in
love the
Seattle and
Pacific
it's
Northwest.
wow. Oh, the Pacific Northwest. Oh,
Yeah.
so beautiful. Orca whales everywhere.
Yeah, there's whales
Oh,
all
God.
over the place.
Don't
You
get
go
me
in a
started.
bar,
Don't get her started.
three to four whales.
Just don't get her
I love
started.
animals.
3 to
I
4
know. We
orcas
know.
in every bar you
hear
go into.
a lot about them.
Let's see. There are birds everywhere too.
Birds.
Yeah. Also, an animal we should care about. Some of them are
My
extinct.
favorite bird is an owl. If anyone wants
I mean, we were all really curious.
Yeah, that was-
we were all sitting in our seats just going, what is
Like, what is
Crystal's
her
favorite
favorite
bird? Oh my god.
Are you a bird?
And then when
are
you
you
said it, I felt
are
like
you
I
like
could
a
breathe.
bird watcher? Or are you one of
I
those, like,
actually
weird
am a bird. So
people?
I'm also a wildlife photographer, and I am a bird watcher. And I also volunteered at a wildlife rehabilitation center called, and shout out, Pelican Harbor Seabird Station in Miami.
Yeah.
And they
Sup?
You know what? You guys do great work, and I worked there every Sunday cleaning up poop and also taking photos of the ambassador birds and animals because they rescue.
The ambassador is a bird.
They rescue indigenous animals to the state of Florida, which is a lot of pelicans. We have hawks. We have owls. My favorite bird.
Meth heads.
So yeah. They live under the bridges, and they will talk to you in Miami. I'll tell you that.
So tell us a little bit about you, Crystal. So we're hearing you're a wildlife. I know everything about her, but I just want everyone else to know that.
Pretty much all you need to know is my
literally
favorite.
Selina's like, I'm gonna
know
pretend
too
like I
many
don't know
things.
way
Like,
too
can
much about
everyone-
this.
I wish I unknew. No, I'm joking. No. But I do want everyone to know.
What's everyone's favorite bird too? Just so I'm not the cheese that stands alone. Favorite bird?
God.
I have to say American Eagle. I know that sounds like really, real cliche, but I
It's
grew
not.
up.
They're
But if you grow up in
birds. They're
Seattle,
amazing,
if you
beautiful,
grow up in
stunning.
Seattle, there are bald eagles everywhere.
Yes,
and like,
yes.
and it's like, and I grew up like over a lake, and so there was like
Beautiful.
Yes,
bald
that's where
eagles,
they build their nests.
and they're like a
Yes.
really good omen. My mom's
Yeah.
really big into like the eagle omens.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So like mom will be like texting me like, "Hey, an eagle just flew over. Like, you're
I
probably
love
gonna
that.
book that audition."
Oh, I love that. That's
I'm
so
like,
cute.
Yeah.
Mom, you're nuts, but I fucking love you.
No, that's good
but
stuff.
yeah,
Parents.
no, but there's,
Right.
but yeah, no, I'd say that's my, it's my favorite bird.
That's
I
cool.
think my favorite bird is the hummingbird.
This show is getting up to a great start.
This
is all my fault.
A big bird person. No, but actually,
This is the way
I
that
actually
Crystal
love-
envisioned this show for us, actually. So
she just wanted us to talk about
sense.
birds.
Right.
No, I actually really
if it was
do
up
love.
to her, we'd just be talking about birds.
I actually do love the hummingbird, and there's this one hummingbird that comes every day to say hi to my baby, and it's really cute. My baby gets really excited.
You know what you should do? Put a little bit of honey in like a top of a water bottle or something, and you hold it like this. Hold it very still for like an hour, and a hummingbird will
Have you done
come,
this?
perch
Crystal,
on
why
your
don't-
finger.
Why don't you come here and
Yeah.
you stand for an hour with a water glass and some honey and just wait, and I'll
She
take
was
a
like,
good
I'm a
photo.
mom. I don't have an hour. I don't
Yeah,
know
like,
where's
where's this
this
hour
coming
that you
from?
have to just stand?
Wildlife
I was
photography
like, Crystal,
is
are you
literally
gonna pay me for this hour? Because there's no fucking way I'm
like,
standing
whose
here waiting
hour
on a
is that?
goddamn hummingbird for an hour.
When I do wildlife photography, I sit in a bush for like 8 hours in like camo, and I just wait.
In
for-
camo.
Like, I have adventure pants, you know.
Wait, just the pants?
And also adventure pants are
Adventure
pants that
pants.
unzip into
Stay-at-home
shorts.
shirt.
They're very cool. It's called fashion. And then also another kind of top.
Like zip
that-
off.
It's,
Zip
is
off
it all
pants.
camo?
We're just talking about zip off
it's
pants.
usually like it's forest colors.
Like what we
Okay.
wore in the
Forest
90s, like the
Okay,
zip off
in case
pants.
a
Is that
bear
what you're
came
talking
or
about?
what?
Just so I'm not impeding into the space. So like, let's say a moose is gonna have a baby, which actually I was
Which they
photographing
do. They
moose
do
Having
have.
having babies.
Okay.
And so you just sit there and you wait, and you just want to get that shot. Very Nat Geo.
You just
And
wait for
that's
the baby?
to me an hour is nothing. You guys don't know anything.
Yeah.
Wait,
So tell us more
Okay,
about
so-
you, actually.
Yeah,
So-
and also tell us more about moose labor while you're at it, please.
Well, if you'd like to see some beautiful moose photography, so I have a Instagram that I turned into a passion project show called Wildlife Crystal.
Oh, it's actually beautiful photos.
Thank
It
you.
actually is.
And actually,
Of
well,
moose
I know, so
babies.
I'm a photographer by
Of moose babies.
There's a lot of moose
Yes.
babies there.
Yeah.
It is very stunning.
And actually, you look very good in camo. Now that I remember, it's true. I'm
going to tell you something. On my Hinge profile,
Support.
the photograph that gets the most traction on Hinge is my photograph of me with my 200 millimeter camera lens in the forest with my adventure pants on.
I think I know which photo it is.
Yeah,
It's
and
a good
I mean,
photo.
it gets the
It's a
most
good
traction.
photo.
The boys like it.
Yeah.
I'll call them men.
yeah.
The men like it.
Boys,
Men, yeah.
Which boys?
The men like it. So
Oh, no.
everyone calls me Tomb Raider, which is probably the biggest compliment I feel I can receive. Okay, but let me okay, professionally I do things professionally. Okay, so my career started a very long time ago, right out of high school actually, and I was 17, and I'm from Newport Beach originally. I was just in LA at a party, and I was standing in a very long bathroom line, for females, and I'm a female, so, and I'm chatting it up with this woman, very chatty.
The most interesting. I just can't wait to see where this is going.
We're gonna fix all this in
I
post,
thought
guys.
I knew everything about you, and here I am just shocked. Well, you were waiting for a toilet.
There is a beginning to this. When in high school growing up, I was actually due to major in, when I actually ended up, I was just going to major in marine biology and film. My dream job was just to work for Nat Geo, film sharks. That was all I wanted to do growing up. That was it. That was like, I was going to be the star of Shark Week, not the sharks, me filming sharks.
Yeah.
But as life has it, there are many paths in which they take you in different directions. So I'm standing in a bathroom line and chatting with this woman, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a casting director at MTV. I'm looking for a casting assistant. I love your pizzazz. You're a weird girl. I'd love to interview you." And I was like, "Great. I've never worked before, but I'll just go to this interview." Anyway, blah, blah. I go to the interview. I book the job. And we're filming actually a show called Next, a dating show called Next. You remember this show?
Very,
I
very
remember
well
this.
aware of
Yes,
this show.
yeah.
I love this show.
It was
Fun show.
fun and
I
hilarious.
used to
and-
sneak down to the basement because we weren't allowed to watch TV growing up until much later.
Yeah.
So yeah, super granola.
Seattle.
And I would sneak down
Seattle.
and like as when my parents were asleep, and I'd watch
Yes,
and
Next.
Fifth Wheel and
Yes.
Blind Date.
Yeah.
and
So
Fear Factor.
yes. Okay. So in our in the building, the MTV building, so each floor has a couple shows. So my floor is so it's Next, which is the show I was working on, Date My Mom, and Room Raiders. You guys remember those shows?
I don't remember.
No.
Room Raiders.
Room Raiders, where they took the black light, they would show all the semen on the walls. You guys don't remember that?
What?
There was
So they-
semen on the wall?
So no, so
Why?
they would take a kid out of their room.
There was a
So
kid?
It's like a kid show.
Kid.
They're like teens, and they're
Oh.
like, and basically a girl
Oh.
sees like if
Is
she
that
wants to
backing off?
date a guy based on the room, called Room Raiders. So they basically go in and they look through all their shit. So they're just like, this guy
would
looks
not
at a lot
fly
of porn.
in
No, right
2020.
now
And
no
then-
one would make this show.
You guys,
Oh.
I'm surprised no one's seen Room Raiders. It's a very famous MTV show.
No.
Bunch
Dan
of losers.
seen Room
It checks
Raiders?
out, it
Yeah.
checks
You
out.
know what? Thank you,
Yeah.
Dan. It's a real show. Anyway, Date My Mom
glad
is
no
far
one
more
made you.
ridiculous. Anyway, so
Yeah, you're right. We did kind of glaze over Date My Mom because we were.
Date My Mom is much more ridiculous than Room Raiders. And I'll
Wait, what was Date My Mom again?
Date My Mom is like basically the show where MTV, good for you guys, where like you go into there's a single mom and the kids are like, we really want our mom to date, so they like film their mom dating someone and they get to comment and okay the date.
Oh my god,
It's
this
very,
sounds awful.
You guys don't. MTV was this. This was
Yeah.
MTV.
Oh my God, I
about
gotta
a
watch
more than a
music
decade
videos.
ago. Oh jeez. All right. So
Okay,
anyway,
so
okay.
your career
So now,
was-
so now I'm a casting director. So at MTV, you move up twice as fast. And so first there was heterosexual dates for Next, and then it became gay, and then lesbian dates. And so I was now casting those. So all the lesbian ones. So that now began my career as a casting director. I've been a casting director for more than 15 years, 16, 17 years, casting in New York, LA, Miami, thousands of commercials, TV shows. I mean, every brand you can think of, I've cast a commercial for. It's a really fun job. I laugh every day at and with my actors and models. Love you guys. And because it's like so, because like casting is like, okay, it's like I've cast like underwear commercials, and it's like, okay, I need you to pretend like you're playing beach volleyball, go, and they're just like junk everywhere, and it's just like 100 dudes pretending like they're playing beach volleyball in tighty whities. That's my job. So that's that. And then also I'm a photographer. Photo shoots, models. My passion also being wildlife photography for conservation purposes. I'm a big animal activist. Yes, I will be talking about it in the show. Yes, I am vegan.
Yes.
I'll be talking about it.
She will.
Yes, I freaking will.
Oh, we know.
Okay.
Oh, we know. Selena, what do you do?
Wait, along with that, along with animals, more animal things, hold on. Because actually it's a real thing that I do job-wise has to do with animals. I started my passion project, and I'm writing and producing and starring in a show called Wildlife Crystal. It's on YouTube, pitching it around now. And it's about animals. Each episode is about one animal and their environment and ways you can help animals and the environment right now. Target audience 2 to 7. You might be too cool and straight or 9, but you could do a school project on it, on any animal. And I actually already I've done an episode. I love when you do. On eagles. Fun fact about eagles, which you can see on my show, Wildlife Crystal. The largest eagle nest ever discovered is 18 feet deep. Fun fact.
Very fun fact.
Deep, down, deep. 18 feet deep. 11 feet wide.
11 wide.
Wide, deep. That's double my height. I'm 5'4". That's not. No, wait. Let me get back. That's 4 of me.
My husband is laughing his ass off right now.
Hey, Siri.
I teach children, mothers. You should
Oh my god, it is so funny.
You know what's fun?
It's double. It's 5'4" plus 5'4" equals.
Anyway, so there's that, and then
18.
I do other things. Okay, moving on. So Wildlife Crystal is my favorite thing right now. Casting director, all the things.
And this podcast.
Selina and Crystal have friends. Multi-hyphenate.
Multi-hyphenate friends.
Selina, tell me about your multi-hyphenate-ness.
Yeah.
So my multi-hyphenate list. My English, the barrier of speaking a language. No.
Yeah. That's part of your multi-hyphenate.
Yes, it is. I actually am. I'm quadrilingual. Is that a word?
Yeah.
It is now. Now it is.
Look
I
it
will
up, Dad.
speak none of them correctly.
Yeah, guys.
And that's okay, because when you speak 4, you get to speak them all wrong. And I just want to say that in advance, okay? Okay? Anyway.
She's actually very, very... You speak them perfect. I would say...
Yeah.
I don't speak French, but I feel like it's perfect.
Oh, thank you. But I mean, I'll make a lot of, mistakes.
Because I see you speaking and people are, understanding what you're saying.
I was talking more about my English than anything. I feel like my other languages are doing much better than my... Anyway. So, okay. I'm Selena Ringel. A little bit about me. I have always been in the film industry. I actually did my master's at the American Film Institute, where I met my lovely husband, who's directing this podcast. I always say it was money well spent, because I started my own production company with my husband and found my husband. So
go to AFI.
So that's as good as it gets. You're going to master's when you come out with a company and a husband. I don't know. Anyways,
that sounds like a good
solid. They could sponsor us just for that.
I am sponsored by them. No, Anyway, went to AFI, started my own production company. I'd always been producing for a very long time and writing my own content. And it's funny because I had always wanted to be an actress, but somewhere down the road I was like, oh, it's too hard. And I actually did a lot of casting as well. So I've been a casting director for 10 years, but I did a lot of indie films and shorts and series and commercials, non-union, a lot of stuff like that, because it was under my own company umbrella. So a little different than what Crystal does, but casting is casting.
I'm casting some underwear penises, and you're casting
underwear penises.
If you're a model in the U.S.,
if you're a model and you have an underwear penis,
I've seen.
Don't worry, Crystal will cast you.
I've cast some weird other things. So anyway, the point is though that having been on that side of the camera, I kind of let go of the idea of being an actor, because I was like, oh, it's so hard to book something, that I was like, you know what? I guess I'll just stay on the other side of the camera. So I was producing, writing, casting. And then 2 years ago, and I always love telling this story because I think it's fun for people to get inspired. I was like hitting like a, what do you call it?
A wall.
A wall. Hitting
English.
a wall where thank you, English. So I was hitting a wall because I was feeling like I was so result oriented that I couldn't like have fun doing the things I was doing anymore. I was just like, oh my god, like when's someone gonna notice? Like when's this gonna go somewhere? Like when's the Sundance gonna give me the, you know? And so it was like, and then I was just not enjoying the process of making things anymore. And so I told my husband, I was like, I think I want to just play again. Like I just want to like be in my playful energy, see what happens, not worry about like where it goes, and have like a side playfulness to me that I had somehow lost down the road. So I started doing improv at the Groundlings, and I took this stand-up class, and those were like my two like fun me things that I was doing, and this was like 3 years ago. And so then from there, I was actually at this show at the end of like my Groundlings class, and this friend of mine was producing this series for the Duplass brothers, and she was like, oh, you should audition for this series I'm producing. And I was like, well, I haven't really acted in like 11 years. And she was like, well, what do you lose? And I was like, well, I don't know, nothing. So I auditioned, and I booked it, which blew my mind because then I literally was like, universe, do you want me to keep doing it? Like, I was like, it's so weird because I've cast so many things, and like, for me to book the first, I was like, this makes no sense. So
It makes good sense.
well, thank you. But
It makes good sense.
Point is that it kind of like threw me in a different direction because all of a sudden it was like, wait, I actually do really love doing this, and I had like stopped giving myself permission to do it because I felt I wasn't gonna like win, quote unquote.
It can be a multi-hyphenate.
Yes, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Give
And
yourself
so-
permission
Yes,
to be a multi.
give yourself permission to do things that like make you happy and that you really enjoy doing, because then good things just happen. And like with this stand-up, I ended up like booking shows like all over the place at the Comedy Store,
And she's like freaking hilarious. Like she has like certain like stand-up like what do you call, like if you have like
Routines.
sets, and
Sets.
they are to die for. They're so funny. Like I don't even pity laugh. I'm real laughing.
Oh, thank
real
you.
laughing.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Real laughter.
That's
Very
just a lot, 'cause
talented.
I know
Yeah.
you pity
Yeah.
laugh.
I do think I think it's nice to pity laugh the ones that are, you know, poor things are up there on stage, you know. But okay.
Thank you. So yeah, and then I started doing a bunch of shows. I was doing literally like 4 or 5 nights a week. I was doing shows before the pandemic hit, and I was doing really well with stand-up, and I've written and produced a couple of our own feature films, which is really, really great. And this last one, I actually star in. So I am the star of this last feature. And it's exciting. It's exciting because it was like I gave myself permission to be the star, because I wrote it with my husband and we produced it together, and we were like, why not?
I think all actors should be doing that.
Right?
Like make projects that fit you.
Yeah.
If you're typecast, ride that train, and you should be making projects that fit you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you will win if you do that.
So-
and look at case in point.
Well, and so some very good news that's very exciting is this movie just got bought by HBO Max.
Yeah.
So, which is super, super exciting, and it's about my pregnancy, and so the baby you just met is in my belly in that movie, and I'm actually pregnant in it, which is
And
pretty
fun
crazy.
fact, Mateus has an IMDb
Yes.
from the womb.
Yes, he is the youngest executive producer to have ever existed, and I think that what's that book that they should put me on, the world record?
Oh.
I feel like you should be put in
Yes.
the
Yes, contact them.
I should.
That's a fun one.
Right?
Let's.
The youngest
Should I call them
executive
now?
producer. Yeah, the youngest executive producer. I mean, he literally got that credit from the womb.
That's so good.
So
Yes, get it.
yeah, so that's a little bit on me, and yeah, we all have all these friends in the industry.
Yeah.
And we thought it'd be so fun for people to hear about their journeys and what they've been through.
The journey is what, so it's weirdly, so the way this came about, this is like so fun. So we're all fun weirdos. All of us in our own way.
What?
Fun, awesome weirdos.
I'm weird?
We're,
I'm joking.
trust me, if I called you normal, you'd punch me in the face.
That's
Okay?
true.
And we both had been told so many times, you should have a podcast, you're so
That's
honest, your voice is weirder or something. I don't know, whatever. I get to voice weird things, I have all these weird voices. Okay, but so like, and I'm like hearing this, she's hearing this simultaneously. We're not even telling each other we're hearing this, But we're hearing this, and then one day we're just like, you know, I was gonna start a podcast called like Crystal's Casting Couch because like I know so many people in the industry from casting for so many years. But we're not having fun. It's kind of sexual, you know? So it kind of draws you in. You think you're going to get sex, but you're not. But, like, you know, it's like, it's fun.
Is that what you think you're going to get? You think you're going to get sex,
because
but you're not.
You're not going to get sex.
You're not going to get sex. You're just going to get a bunch of chatting.
Oh, my
You're going to learn a lot about animals.
Oh, my God. You're going to learn a lot
I'm
about
going to trick you to listening
Sex
to
is
my...
not on the table.
gonna
We
become
will be
vegan.
talking about koalas this week. And
Actually, my co-host in my show, Wild Eye Crystal, is a koala named Kaya the Koala. She's an animated co-host of mine.
Yes. Yes.
So,
It's
my
not on the
marsupial
casting
co-host.
No, but it's true. We were both thinking of starting a podcast, and then we talked about it. And actually, a lot of people always said to us that we're very fun together, that we're a lot when we're together.
And every
it's
time
really
we
fun.
have, like, we're together, we're just, like, always laughing.
Yes, a lot
Always
of
having a
laughing.
time. I don't know if that equals a podcast, but also we are also so knowledgeable in our industries.
Mhm.
We've been doing this for a very long time.
We're clearly not knowledgeable on other things. You will see that in the podcast. If you watch other episodes,
There are many
We-
things we are not
yes,
knowledgeable.
we are very knowledgeable about some things, and then we are strangely uninformed about others.
So uninformed. So we decided how much more fun would it be if we co-host this.
Yes.
And we also really needed another co-host that was super awesome and hilarious and fun and could also make us so many drinks so we can be
I'm here to
this
get them
together.
drunk. That's the
And so
through line of the...
No.
Selina and Crystal Have Friends was born, in which we have guests who are all in the industry and we talk about their journeys, we talk about current events, and we have comedians, actors, models, influencers, we got all the things, the gamut, and it's just like, how did you get there? What do you do now? You're all working in the industry. It's not, you know, it's like, how cool is that?
Also, I think what's really fun about our podcast, or something I really love, is like there's people at all different levels. So it's like, to me, I remember at a certain point being like, oh man, if I could just make my one feature. If I could just make my one feature. And then you get to that point and you're like, oh man, if I could just get my one thing on a streamer. Or if I could just get my... And every time you're constantly moving your goalpost. But I think what's so cool is that all of our guests are at different points in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have achieved incredible things, and others are, literally just... paying for their stuff by doing comedy, and that's
Which is a
already
huge deal.
That's a huge deal.
By the
but
way.
not everyone knows that, and so there's so many levels and levels and levels of what it means to be in this industry and what you get to experience and the journey of how you get there. So I think it's really cool to kind of see all the walks of this life,
Hell
this
yeah.
creative life.
So on this show, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll learn.
Will you cry?
I
Have
don't
we
know.
had any crying?
I don't know. Maybe just laughing and learning then.
Yeah.
Maybe did we cry? Have we ever
Yeah.
cried?
I don't think we've cried.
Really?
So this just shows you that we've already filmed episodes, and now we're filming the first one. So. The magic of filmmaking.
That is what you learned right now. That is true. That is true.
Welcome.
And I might still
Welcome to
cry. I might still cry
Might
because
still
we do
cry.
have another
The night
episode
is-
to go. You
night is-
never know.
Night is young.
The night is
The
young.
night
No idea.
is young.
A few shots and
More laughing.
we
More
could be
laughing.
crying about anything. We could be laugh crying. I think we've laughed.
We
cried.
definitely laugh cry.
We've laughed
Yeah.
cried.
I cry when I laugh a
Yes,
lot.
me
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Ah, yes.
So, is there anything else interesting
I
to
don't know.
say
I
on
feel
this
like that was the
Some
intro.
of the things that we ask our guests, like, is there anything we missed in asking you anything? Is there something you'd
Oh,
like to
or
tell
any
the audience?
advice.
Maybe you want to talk to the women in the
Yes.
audience. Maybe you want to talk to industry
Well, what do you-
professionals. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want? What do you want from me?
Actually, why don't you do a piece of advice?
I like
What's
that.
one piece of advice you
Piece of
would
advice.
give?
I'll give a piece of advice. I have been working, and been very, very blessed to consistently work in this crazy fucking city. And I don't know. I was talking with my friend Hannah James, who's incredible actress, really, really great. And she was like, "Wow, you like really, really enjoy the process. Like you really, really enjoy the journey." And I was thinking about it, and that's something I do really enjoy because I have 2 careers, and I try to be really baller at both of them. But it's because I view them as the same, right? Like, I met you guys through bartending.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
I've met so many people in this city through bartending, through being there, and I've met people also through bartending at vulnerable times, at bad times, at really highs and really lows. You learn, to me as a bartender and just somebody in hospitality in general, you really feel the heartbeat of the city through being out in it, and you can be the best goddamn actor in the entire fucking world. But if you're not out there and you don't put yourself out there enough, nobody will ever fucking know.
100%.
And so I would say I always say this advice to anybody who comes up to me and is like, "Oh, you're an actor. Like, how's that hustle?" I'm like, "Well, it's shitty, but it's also great." And I always say, make yourself indispensable.
Yeah.
Make yourself anchor yourself in your city, because I'm a city kid. I grew up in Seattle in the city, and I always felt like being anchored and being centered and being in a place where people come to you as opposed to you always chasing your dream. Right? It's like we're all chasing our dreams, and we're all doing that emotionally, but physically find comfort. Find comfort in your city so that people come to you so that you can progress, because everyone who you meet in a city like LA can progress your career. You just have no fucking idea. Yeah. There's no ceiling.
Who's
there's
somebody
no
that
limit.
you've met as bartending that really you think like really helped progress your career? Was there like a person that you can like pinpoint, or was it kind of?
I mean, I would say my agent, obviously.
You loyal actor.
And yeah, I am. But I would say overall, it's so much more than that. It's so much more because meeting one specific person, they can help you, but they can also just like oh yeah, totally name drop me or do this or whatever. But if your network expands, every single job you work is another network. Of course. Every single place you go, every time that you're like, man, I'm really tired, but it's Thursday and my friends are trying to hang out.
Just go. Yep.
Just fucking go, because you don't know who's gonna be there, and it's tiresome, like for sure, going out and putting yourself out there, being out there all the time. But it is the most important thing you will do for yourself as an actor, is making sure that you are out the fucking door. Yeah. And being present in and LA, every big city gets seen and gets clicky and gets whatever. But having an organic network in a city that's full of opportunity has progressed me as an actor
100%.
so much. You know, I work a ton with Lily Singh. She's my girl. You're the fucking best, Lil. I fucking love you. You're incredible. You know,
I don't know her, but I love her.
She's an absolute, tour de force boss woman, and I met her because I had a friend through college, and they were like, "Oh, can you be in this like little skit?" I was in this little skit, and that little skit, like. Then, her manager at the time was like, "Hey, can you bartend her house party?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can bartend her house party." And that's when we clicked, because they're like, "Roscoe, we have uneven teams for Flip Cup. Like, sorry, and then I got to know her staff that way. Yeah, and so, but you just never.
But of course, that's how we clicked too.
Yeah,
that's how we clicked too. And it was but the thing is, I think you also have really good energy, and I think that's something to be said too. Is
be genuine.
Yeah, but if you look like you're having fun and you have good energy and you're bringing yourself to the table authentically, then people see that, and people love that.
Every room you go into, every time that you go out on the town, don't pretentious. Don't be pretentious. Be yourself. Be your energy.
Whether you're in this industry or not.
Yeah, regardless of what industry you're in. But it will push you forward. Find and be centered enough so that you can have that energy to bring to the table every single time you need to, because like you will like my best friends have maybe caught me on 1 or 2 off days. Like it happens like maybe
only have 1 or 2. Good for you.
You know, and like every it's
don't
like
catch Crystal if she's hungry. Don't catch her hungry.
Hunger is a thing.
No, that's great advice. I tell my actors and my models this all the time. You miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah.
Go. Just say yes. Go. Do.
Right.
Like, exactly. Go.
Yeah. DM Scarlett Johansson. See what she says.
Just DM her.
Just
Everyone
DM her. Everybody.
DM Scarlett
Shoot
Johansson.
your goddamn shot.
But you know what?
So
I will say this actually.
Absolutely amazing. Scarlett.
Our last
love you.
feature, actually, this is actually a true story. Our last feature was distributed by Samuel Goldwyn Films, which is a really big distributor. And the way we landed that was I literally emailed 150 sales agents cold, but like it takes a certain person to send 150 cold emails. Do you know what I mean? But it worked. One of them went, oh, wow, let me see the film. I mean, a couple of them, but one of them that was actually valuable to our film. And that was enough for the movie to actually get out, and now it's available in 20 different countries. But the point is that, like, if you don't make that effort, you don't get the chance.
Tenacity.
So you have to make the effort.
People love that, and they see that. Even, like, my last casting job I was living in Miami for the last 8 years, and I went to this one studio. It's the top studio in Miami, and I just moved there. And I was like, you know what? And I showed up 4 different times in a span of 2 weeks. Finally, the 4th time the owner was just like, I have to hire you now. I fucking have to hire you. You just came 4 times. Like, that, like, just do it. Just go. Show up. Show up. Show up. It's like that. In this industry, that will be everything for you. Yeah. And people remember, and people appreciate that. And people don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And be ambitious and tenacious. So, exactly what we were kind of touching on before, for all the actors, make your own content. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, like, make it for yourself. If you sit around like, I'm just gonna like wait until it happens, it's not gonna fucking happen. It's not gonna happen. Make it for yourself. Show up. You miss every shot.
And enjoy the journey.
And have fun and laugh. It's fun. This is a fun industry.
Like,
it's actually hilarious. This industry is fun as hell.
And people let it get them down, but that's you know, like that. Then it's not the industry for you, because you're gonna take.
Well, you're gonna get down. I think for me, what I would say is like if it is going to get you down. That's my opinion. It's just, like it is just gonna happen. It's just like, are you okay to allow yourself to feel all the feelings and get yourself back up? Because that's what it's gonna take. You're gonna have to do it again and again and again and again. You're gonna have to be like, today I feel like I never want to do this again. And tomorrow I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do it again. You know what I mean? Because when it's, I mean, the good is so good.
Be crazy.
The high is worth the low. The juice is worth the squeeze.
It is worth the squeeze. It is worth the squeeze. And you build families and
oh my God, film families are so tight.
Best.
It's like very close. Very close.
And also, I will give a shout out to hospital families, because hospitality is its own. It is also like it's all so interconnected in this city. Like you are,
100%.
because this city is a city that goes out. This is a city that drinks. It's a city that parties, and the heartbeat of that city. Yeah,
that's why we had to drink on the podcast.
I mean, like
the city we're in.
The heartbeat of the city is the people who are going out and meeting people and hanging out with their friends and making other friends and meeting random people at the fucking bar, and that becoming a thing. You know, it's like you're just, there's no, you know, don't stay at home.
Make friends. I think you're a podcast called You Have Friends.
Yeah. That was actually like a pretty...
Was that smooth or was that smooth?
Transition.
Am I right or am I right?
So guys, like a wrap up.
Tune in to our first season of Selina and Crystal Have Friends.
And we're super excited to share with you all of our friends who are going to come on. There's some incredible people.
Indeed.
And we're just so excited to be here. And we have so much fun, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun listening.
You're going to learn a lot about birds.
Lot about birds.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And about other things too, I promise.
Just birds. And veganism. No one will watch now.